You're good to go.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Nature Patch. Today I have two little kittens joining me just because it's quite windy and quite hot and rainy on and off outside. So I'm gonna have to deal with two cats running around. One is biting the tripod as I speak, and the other one is sitting cleaning herself. So I thought I would film this video inside and just insert a few clips here and there of what I'm going to be talking about, and that is everything that I'm going to be sowing and growing in the month of March. So this video is going to apply to people living in a subtropical climate zone. I'll try and insert what kind of zone I might be in the US for a lot of people in the Northern Hemisphere. But for people in the Southern Hemisphere living in Australia, I live around the Southeast Queensland region. So we have a subtropical, really mild winter. We have a really hot, early dry summer, which then moves into the monsoon and becomes really wet and humid, and then slowly starts to go into the cooler months. So that's where we are right now. It currently is the 7th of March. And I think today, fingers crossed, is going to be the last really hot day that we're going to have for this season. So I would say this video also applies to people living south towards around Port Macquarie area up to Rockhampton. Some things to note about my climate: we don't really get frosts here in winter. It rarely gets below 5 degrees at night here, definitely not during the day. We usually sit around 22 degrees during the day in winter. So it's really mild, and currently right now for the next month or two is the peak growing season, and where I can finally start to grow a lot of things that I've wanted to for ages. So I haven't really found a video that talks about subtropical climates and what you can grow. So for the month of March, it is all about really what you can't grow, and that's only a certain few different species. As a general rule, I'm actually kind of following a lot of what the Northern Hemisphere is growing right now, because we can grow all year round here. The only restriction we do have really is in summer, when it's just way too hot to grow some of the things that I'll talk about now. So something that I will be sowing and planting, which I need to plant some more today that I've got really root bound and really need to go on the ground, that I'll insert a video clip of here, are tomatoes. So something you might want to think about when you're growing tomatoes is that they'll get at least 6 hours of sun per day. And currently we've still got a lot of bugs around that are happily eating away at little tomato seedlings. So that's just something to keep an eye on. I'll be sticking to the cherry tomatoes, and Roma tomatoes grow really well in this region. So I'm going to be sticking to those ones. Another thing I would suggest, this is the last month you could sow, is capsicums. I've got a few that are ready to plant out now, but if you've got good growing conditions, you can sow some now and get a late autumn, early winter harvest. Another thing I'm going to be sowing is another round of beans, another round of cucumber, and another round of zucchinis. Those three things really struggled in summer just because of the heat. It was just too burning hot for them, and they pretty much fried. So now that the sun is getting a bit lower in the sky, we're getting less of the sun throughout the day, those things are going to be growing really well. I've also started a bunch of different flowers, which I'll insert a image here. I've got some Swan River daisies out there, some other little flowers like alyssums, which are great for attracting pollinators to the beds. I've got a lot of native everlasting daisies that are native to Australia, lots of zinnias, and I found all of those ones are really great to plant right now. And I found I had really great germination rates. Within 2 days, I started to see green shoots on pretty much all of them. So definitely get your flowers in now if you can. In Australia, a lot of our natives flower in winter as well. So if you do have access to a nursery where you can go and purchase some natives, some things like grevilleas and bottlebrush are a great addition to your garden. I'm also planting another round of corn, which are these seeds here. I have found this corn is absolutely delicious. It's an early extra honey sweet corn variety, and I literally got this for $2.50 from the dollar store, and these seeds have had a really great germination rate, which is good. Because I'm going to be sowing the last of them to get my third round of corn coming through. And again, with corn, just make sure you're preparing the area, you're giving it lots of well-rotted manure and compost as you plant it, and then when it starts to flower, drop back on the nitrogen a little bit to promote more growth in the actual cobs rather than the green growth. In addition to corn, I've also been planting a lot of peas. So I've been planting dwarf pea, but I haven't actually been planting it for pea production yet. I've actually just been planting it for microgreens. So I absolutely love little baby pea or snow pea shoots. As a green, they're great on burgers and salads, and they're a really easy thing to grow that gives you quite a good yield at the moment. I probably wouldn't plant some of these in the ground yet, just because I know where I am, they'll probably start to burn and they won't produce any peas. So now we've established you can pretty much grow whatever you want around this time. There are a few things that I'd probably warn not to plant at the moment, and these are just things that take a little bit of extra time to produce fruit. So by all means you can try them, but it is more of a risk going into the cool months, particularly if you're in a microclimate where you might start to get some cooler temperatures a little bit earlier. I'd probably steer away from these things. Things I probably wouldn't sow right now is okra. Generally takes a while to start producing. Rosella plants as well. I have planted mine out and they'll hopefully give me an autumn harvest, but I haven't had too much luck planting them around now and then getting a really good crop. Pumpkins as well take a little bit more time to produce. Definitely more if you're nearer to the coast. You might be able to plant these, but where I am a little bit inland, we start to get the cooler nights a little bit more, which the pumpkins don't seem to like. Other things I wouldn't plant at the moment include rhubarb, melons, again, same as the pumpkin situation. I'm also taking a risk with planting zucchinis. I'm pretty sure that I can get a really good harvest within the time that I have right now. Again, if you're in a little bit more of a microclimate, maybe steer clear of zucchinis. And I'm also holding off on things that are likely to bolt. So radishes, I haven't had much luck around now. Also some herbs, so coriander. I find chamomile is really hard to germinate in these temperatures. Parsley sometimes does okay, sometimes it goes to seed. But generally at the moment it's fairly happy as my little seedlings are. And also things like lettuce and spinach, I've tried growing them right now, but my lettuce is bolting, so it's a little bit early for lettuce right now. Also things like broccoli, I'm probably going to try and plant that later this month, more into early April. That's if I can get broccoli to grow here. I have no idea. I have really high hopes, but I'm not too sure how that's going to go. So that is pretty much everything that you can sow and grow now. There are some great resources online where you can pretty much type in your area and see what you can grow. But for where I am in the subtropics, I am so happy because I can actually start to grow things again and it not be ridiculously hot that my plants are basically burning and turning to a crisp. So I know this is going to be really different for a lot of other different climates in Australia. So wherever you are right now, I'd really love if you could comment down below what you are sowing and growing right now. I love seeing all of the cooler climates and seeing all of the things you can grow down there, all of the greens and lettuce and broccoli and onions. It just looks amazing. Let me know what climate zone you're in as well, and we can see how many different climates are in this little community. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was useful. Please let me know down below if you'd like to see more like this. I'd really like to start doing a monthly video on this. I think it would be really useful and also useful for me to document what I'm growing at this current time. But make sure you subscribe and like this video for more like this, and until my next video, happy gardening everyone. Bye. Say bye, Annie. Say bye, guys. I'm obviously interrupting that time.